Hey guys, Courtney Mermaid here, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you guys who are new to my channel, I'm Courtney. I'm the Vancouver Mermaid, and I do on this channel swimming videos, tutorial videos, mermaid school, just pretty much a lot of mermaid related content. And recently I was asked to talk a bit about a video that was posted by another mermaid about mermaids and their knees. Knees. So recently a video was posted, and I won't go into a super huge amount of details. If you've been around for any of my other videos, you probably heard me talk about it already. It's just taken me a really long time to get this together because I wanted to get my thoughts together. So a video was posted, and a new mermaid who was swimming in a tail that didn't really fit her very well. And some people left some really not so nice comments on the video. And a couple of things, right? So first of all, anything that we post on YouTube, that's out there for the world, and we are gonna get the feedback that we're gonna get. And realistically, whatever people post, if it's bad, good, or otherwise, it's still actually going to bump your video up. So more engagement on your videos, regardless of whether you're happy about it or not, is actually going to increase your likelihood of being shown around the YouTubes. So there's that. And also, it's a real frustration for a lot of us because whether mermaids exist out there in the world or not, and who knows, they could, okay, it's possible. It's frustrating because people will hold us all to these really high and sometimes very impossible standards of what they think a perfect mermaid would be or wouldn't be. And it can be really discouraging, especially for new mermaids or mermaids who don't have very thick skins, who aren't really used to getting it, because I've gotten, like, people will say things about me, and you know, I'm gonna keep doing what I do regardless of it because I love it so much. So, you know, that's just one person's opinion, right? So the great debate though is whether or not mermaids, and of course, when I refer to mermaids moving forward, I'm not referring to what I think of as perfect mermaids. I'm referring to the group of us out there who refer to ourselves as mermaids or mers in the mermaid community, where we are humans who swim in mermaid costumes. Okay, so that's just to be clear what I'm saying when I say that I'm not under some illusion that I am in any way a real mermaid or any of these things. I refer to myself that way because that's something that makes me happy. It brings me joy, and I'm somebody who really wants to encourage people to use their imaginations and to think beyond just what we are. That's something we're really blessed with, imaginations, and I think we don't use them enough or really give them enough credit and that kind of thing. So, but just moving forward so that we're clear. So it's this great debate that should mermaids have knees or use their knees? The debate is whether or not the dolphin kick. Okay, let me just rewind this a little bit. So, and these opinions are all my own. I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody. This is all coming from up here, okay? For me, there's the dolphin kick and there's the mermaid kick. And what you have to know the difference is when you're wearing a tail, okay, like one of my tails, and you have a monofin, and you also have a top that creates an excessive amount of drag, because most mermaid tops do. You know, the best part about being a mermaid is being ridiculously uncomfortable, but having to look like you're totally just one with the universe. And made of the water. In reality, everything burns. You got water up your nose and your ears, the tail's sliding, the fin isn't fitting properly, the earplug's coming out, the nose clip can't be found. So it's really, there's a lot of other factors that make up a mermaid kick versus a dolphin kick. And I think holding mermaids to these ridiculous standards where, oh, well, you know, such and such Olympic swimmer, he doesn't bend his knees, or he doesn't do this, or he doesn't do, it's like, okay, he's also not swimming in anywhere from 15 to 50 pounds worth of fabric and or silicone. So you have to kind of take that into consideration. There's going to be times when a mermaid is swimming if she was, say, treading water for a moment, and if you're in the shallow end, that's a natural hinge. Where we have knees, our tails are going to bend. That is a fact of life. And holding somebody to a standard where they shouldn't have knees, if, like, physiologically speaking, is that even a word? It is now. They just have knees, it's gonna happen. So I think it's really important, if you're not a mermaid and you're happening across this video, you know, and maybe you're somebody who's given somebody a hard time, try and keep that in mind, and don't find yourself with that urge to like ruin the magic for other people. If it's something that you see that isn't quite to your taste, then you don't have to look. It's not, and I'm not trying to be like snarky or anything, I just mean that if that's not for you, then that's not for you, and it's totally cool. That's totally fine. You can go and you can do, or find somebody else, or however that works. It's totally fine, right? But I feel like, you know, this person's feelings were probably hurt, and it probably didn't make her feel very good, and that's not what mermaiding's all about. And regardless of whether we share stuff online, I think I want to encourage people to be a bit kinder, and try and remember some of that magic that you may have had and may have lost as, you know, you grow up. But yeah, so you'll find yourself in a position, you know, sometimes, like I see it in my videos a lot of the time. I have some people who think I use my knees and some people who think I don't use my knees. There was a time where I was physically having to use, I had an injury a long time ago, this is beyond what I have now, but it was from a long time ago, where I did have to use a little bit more power from other parts of my body because I had a lower back situation that wasn't really great. Anyways, ideally, where all of your propulsion and where all of your strength in the mermaid kick comes from, battery's gonna die on me. Okay, I apologize if the angle is slightly askew, but I had to change my battery for my camera. So I'm not really sure where I was going there, but let's just say that the dolphin kick and the mermaid kick are two different things. And teasing somebody or saying that they're not doing it well enough, regardless of who they are and how they swim and any of that, it's just not necessary. I think there's better uses of our time than bringing people down. I think it would be a lot better use of our time to bring people up and encourage people. And unless somebody's asked you for feedback on how they're swimming, probably just let it be. That's just my best advice. You know, putting unreasonable standards on people is just, well, it's just not necessary, and it is something that we all have to deal with, unfortunately. You know, YouTube is what it is. You're gonna get people who love your stuff and who are very encouraging. I'm very fortunate. A lot of you guys are really supportive. I will get the odd character who gives me a hard time, but I remove those comments because I don't want to encourage that on my channel. I want to encourage people to find this a happy, safe place where they can express themselves, unleash their inner mermaids, you know, treasure their imagination, and not be ridiculed for bending their knees even a little bit. You know, mermaiding is still such a new thing that there really isn't a wrong way to do it. There are things that you can do to make it easier on yourself, using your, that's I think where I was going before, but it comes from your core, right? So when you're swimming and you initially, it's very hard to explain how to do it, but it's almost like you're pushing forward and then using your abs, squeezing your abs and pulling, like you're, it sounds really terrible, but you're whipping your bum back. Oh my god. You're whipping it back and then your legs follow through. So that's sort of my way of explaining it. My mom was the one who taught me how to do my mermaid kick when I was a kid. And she was also the one who showed me how to do a proper whale dive. And by proper, I don't mean that to sound arrogant or anything of the like, but I find it is the most like realistic in terms of, and what I mean by whale dive is you're swimming forward and you push yourself under so that your bum comes up and then your fluke comes up and then you just come under the water, just like say an orca would do it, right? Just up and down. but you also want to have that good hang time, so where you're up a little bit longer and then you flow down into it. So, but it's all a matter of personal preference and your experience. Of course, a new mermaid, somebody who's never done this before or has limited experience, isn't gonna have the same flow as somebody who's done this for 15 years. You know what I mean? Like, you have to take that into consideration. You also have to take into consideration the fact that some people might have physical limitations. You know, they might have an injury that you don't know about, or just, I mean, just physical limitations, something that keeps them from doing something a certain way. So, and I mean, do you really want to be the person who teases somebody over something they can't even help? Like, that's pretty cruel. That's not very nice. So I think while there's a way to do something, my hope is that mermaiding never becomes something like, and I don't want to use, I mean, I used to ride horses, right, a long time ago. But I mean, my instructor had to stick a riding crop down the back of my pants because I would always fall forward. So every time I leaned forward, it would whip me, it would actually slap me, and I'd have to sit up straight again. And I kind of feel like mermaiding is like more meditative than that. It's kind of, if you're comfortable and you're flowing with the water, it's gonna come, it's gonna be natural, you're gonna go and you're just gonna be smooth. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, but you don't want to inchworm, and you don't want to do this, and you don't want to do that, and this isn't right, and your fluke's going up too high. And yes, there's definitely things like the inchworm is going to be more taxing. It's going to be harder on you to maintain that motion more than if you're going to, and for me, that's the difference. Like, if that's what you want to do, then you do it. You do you, okay? But if you want to be a little smoother, then it's a little easier. It's easier if you're not fighting the water as much. And I think that's the difference here, okay? It shouldn't be so much about who's doing it right and who's doing it wrong. It's just, if you want to try a different way of doing something, or if you want to experience a different method, then that's what it should be all about. That being said, I think it's really important to keep the magic and don't let people bring you down. So if you're a mermaid watching this and you've had somebody say something to you, or, oh, you don't swim very nice, or you swim weird, or you do this, or you do that. Are we going out for the Olympics? No, we're not. What are we doing? What's your goal, okay? If your goal is to be a perfect swimmer and do things a very specific, perfect way, and you're not there yet, then sure. Haul tail and get the job done, okay? But if you're doing this casually and for fun and for relaxation and meditation and just to get your mind off of all of the garbage in the world, then you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what other people have to say. So the next time when you get a comment on there, and that comment says, oh, you swim bad, or oh, am I getting photobombed by my dog right now? Are you photobombing? I see your tail in the frame. You wanna come say hi? Just don't fall out of my chair. I don't fall out of my chair. Oh no. So the next time you get a poopy comment on your video, you're gonna keep a couple things in mind. One, you can get rid of any comment you don't like. And if someone is really rude to you, you can report them or you can block them. So that's an important thing to note, because there are people in the world who just are going to be the way that they are, no matter what I say, no matter what you do. It's just gonna be, there's gonna be haters. And I think the thing that we have to keep in mind is why they are the way that they are, what happened to them that made them this way. Not to judge them either, because you know what? People have had bad experiences. Maybe this person has had their hopes and dreams squashed by a parent or somebody that they went to school with, or a coworker or their boss or anything. So a little bit of like understanding, but not, I mean, obviously it doesn't feel good when somebody says something nasty to you, but we never really know what other people are going through. And the other thing is to remember that any comment is gonna boost your video. So, so that's the, I mean, good, bad, ugly, what are you gonna do? It's, oh, really? Really? I feel so blessed. Yes. In the description box below, I've also included a link to my mermaid school videos. I do have some swimming tutorial and swimming like helpful guides on there as well. Don't beat yourself up. Practice, and the more you do it, the easier it's gonna get. Having a tail that fits you properly and that kind of thing is gonna help. And chin up. right? I had a coworker who said something beautiful to me one time when I was having just a really crummy day. She said, chin up or the tiara slips. And I thought that was just the sweetest thing. So I wish I had a mermaid version of that. But anyways, just keep swimming and let the haters do what the haters are gonna do. And yeah, other than that, I really don't have too much more to add. I hope that's gonna answer what those of you who wanted a response or my thoughts on it. I mean, I agree that it's a frustration and it's something that we all face. And what are you gonna do, right? We're all just doing the best that we can to have the most amount of fun that we can, and I think that's the goal. So that being said, you know, if you like this video and you agree with that message, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe. I do a lot of other mermaid videos on this channel, swimming videos. I do a live stream every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Pacific time on this channel, of course. And I do some art videos. I just do a lot of mermaid related content on this channel and talks like this as well. So that's another thing I like to do. So if that sounds good, hit that subscribe button so I can see you around. And yeah, now that I've got a dog sleeping on my lap, I'm going to go and edit all of these videos because I filmed a lot today. It's pretty good, right? Right, Doge? Okay, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Okay, bye guys!